Hi, everyone. We're kind of having a special to the show tonight a little bit. We were kind of been busy. We've been trying to, I know we went to kind of a or one show every 2 week scenario, but the last number of weeks have been busy because we've had some really deep topics to talk about. Um, Today, I get to talk about one of my favorite ones, and that is really people building communities and helping communities. And I know this is a bit of a feel good story, but it is a feel good story. So I'm fine with it. And I personally love feel good stories. So you got to listen to us and at least, I get to present something I really do love. I've had the chance to know her Grace Maisie for a long time, and she is wonderful person, and one day I hope to grow up like her. And I watch what she does, and it is truly impressive to see the amount of work and support she gives the SCA and all the people within it. And it's every little bit counts, and she gives a lot of it. So, Maisie, before we move on, let me just introduce everybody on the show. Duchess Maisie is the one who kind of came up with this dream child a little bit in her last reign, and it's really rocketed off, not only helping the fighters or new fighters look better and feel more part of the organization, but also helping people, the sewers that come in and get a chance, that they know what they want to do, and then they have a environment to actually do stuff to help others, which is a wonderful thing, and meet others that aren't not only new people, but people that have been around for a while, and they get to stretch themselves some, and they get to ask questions, and they go to places and they get to meet the people, and they get to see the people that are wearing their things, and that's a special place by herself. Lady Adelaide is there shaking her head, because she is one of those, and it's to me that's truly impressive. I get to see my wife make a lot of stuff for other people, and it is truly, I hope that you get to see the glow on their face when they get something from you. So and then we have Count Drust, who's he's an early adopter of all of this.
Yes,
Back towards the beginning, right? So
absolutely.
it's so I got to, and before I go back up to Maisie, I'm going to just ask. So was obviously you've won crown. How long you've been in, Truce?
About 15 years now.
Okay, and so really
Yes.
this started, Maisie. You said this started how many years ago? Maybe
About
like seven.
four, 4 or 5,
Oh, you
five.
remember? Yeah, I'm thinking. I think it because 5 was the beginning of COVID, right? So it's probably right before COVID. So yeah,
Yes.
so that's I just wanted to point out to people that it's like not everybody, and we'll talk about this more in the show, but not this is a way that people can help anyone. You maybe get a chance to sew for people you never think you would even get a chance to know sometimes, right? And I think I really like that part where it breaks down those social barriers so much faster. And so thanks, Drus, for coming on the show with us and giving me a chance to talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Maisie, let's talk about, you started this. Why?
I was crowned, and I really wanted to have my army like a sea of blue, looking congruent, looking together, looking like we knew each other, that kind of thing. So I started it, with the thought it may go further, but I started it within Trimaris, and it caught on pretty well. And it's basically just a networking group to match people. I love doing a project. I definitely don't need another dress in my closet, but I do enjoy the art, that kind of thing. So it grew from there, and now there's 8 countries represented on the group. It's a happy group. It's fun to see everybody, receiving their things in the mail and showing their pictures. But it's basically a networking group. If you are looking for something, you fill out your measurement form, you put it in the Up for Adoption folder. And if someone's looking for a project, they cruise through those folders and find something. and then those are strictly between the stitcher and the jock, whatever that may be, so.
So do you have a lot of conversation usually? I mean, you're not in the middle of all those conversations. You just kind of, you connect people with people really, right?
Yeah. I think they do, message each other on Facebook.
Yep.
A lot of them have become friends that continue to talk. They found common interests in other areas. So that's really neat. And that's crossing a lot of borders. And we do have a lot of people that are kind of in the far reaches that don't have access to a lot of the things that some of us do that are in the bigger cities, that get to go to a lot of the wars, so that's really helpful too. I know that we have a lady from the mid realm that adopted somebody who's in Alaska, and that so happy. He got a tunic with his arms on it and all smiles in the pictures. So it's just a networking group and a friend making group and a nice, happy place to be, even if you're not stitching or putting up a measurement form. So,
well, that's nice to have that kind of place where people are you're just developing a community of people that like to help, like watching others help, and and getting help in many ways, right? So I think that's the best part is there's engagement going on, and I think and it's all the best part. The other really good part about that is it's really positive engagement, and I love seeing that. I'm gonna blast the link off because here's I'm gonna show that. So I'm gonna go ahead for everybody. I'm gonna pop a link in here. Let me just go to that page while I'm here. Of course, I probably already. I guess I can put this one in here. Let's see. Well, I will pop it out there. I'm going to do a little bit of search. I'm going to ask some other questions, and then in one of my breaks, I'm going to go ahead and pop it on here. And good part is we have a couple links. I'll put another post up on Coach's Corner to make sure that everybody gets to see it with some detail and contacts and all of that. So we kind of have a little ad out there. I'm gonna make sure everybody knows I'm a little biased towards Maisie, only because she also helps a lot with Coach's Corner. So she's been doing a lot of our graphics and stuff like that in her spare time, which is never. So, but I will pop a link out there. Thanks for that question. I would have totally missed that. So thanks for helping me on my show here, because I'm already failing, but I'm trying to do best I can. Before I get back to another question, I'm going to go to Adelaide. I got a question for you. Who's the most interesting person how many people have you dealt with, like made tunics for and things like that?
I've had 5 jocks. My first one would have been my husband. I don't know if that counts, but so he would be my first one. But my most interesting, he was a newbie from Georgia. I am having a trouble remembering his name, but I think it was Charles. Anyway, I made him 2 tunics. The way we communicated was through Facebook Messenger, like you had said. And basically, I had him buy the fabric online, send it to my house. He wrote me up his idea of what he wanted. He said it verbatim, "I want to look like a peasant." And so we just made him a little brown tunic. That's all he wanted.
That's awesome. Well, and you said you made him 2 tunics. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that, I guess, for me, I'd be like, gee, I just getting, okay, we'll make you one thing. But it's nice that you guys just have a conversation and then you find out what they want. And if they have maybe multiple ideas, you're like, hey, how about we just do 2 of them type of deal?
So he bought 2 colors, green and brown, and we inverted them so that on one it would be like green with brown sleeves, and then the other was brown with green sleeves. So he'd have a little variant. And he was brand new to the SCA, so he had no clothes yet. So he needed more than one.
Well, yeah, in this case, you're probably actually making a piece of garb and something to fight in, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I know a number of people in my area that are the same way. It's like, it's like, okay, I got one piece of garb. I guess I'm fighting and wearing all day long. And, the best part is when you first start, maybe that's the way you go. And then later, you know, 30 years down the road, you're still doing it because you're on the field too long and you never want to get out of your armor. So,
Right.
So-
With her saying she
Like-
made 2 tunics, I was going through the forums and I found something that I had never made before or really looked into. And I was so intrigued and something new, something I'd never made. So I did make the fighting tunic, and then I made a hat, and then I made a coat, and then I made pants because I was just so excited to be in this new thing.
So what was the new thing?
Scythian.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're just having fun. I mean, this is I guess that's one of the best parts about this is you get to see what other people and then see what other people are doing, and then if something interesting comes, you're like, hey, I want to try to do that. I have never done that before. So
I have to comment that Duke Kern just commented, Maisie, I need new clothes now.
Yeah, how do you like that?
I have made him plenty of things.
Well, you know, don't make me call him out. Maybe he grew out of it. Now he's going to hit me again because of that, but that's okay. So, Drust, I got a question for you.
Yes.
So how many outfits have you actually, you know, have you had more than one that people made for you? Or was this kind of like a, hey, I got this, I really appreciated the group, and then just stuff happened? Or how was your experience?
I felt like I got to help kick things off, you know, towards the beginning of the group. Yeah, Maisie was talking about helping me, you know, with some garb, and so I got to kind of be a guinea pig and go through the process of filling out the forms and pulling them down from the page, and then herself and some other people helped to get me both a Trimaris tunic and one also representing my device as well. That were really cool. After moving back here to Trimaris, I realized that hidden armor and the humidity here can really tear some elbows. And one thing that I thought was cool is about Adopt-A-Jock was that you're not just like, you know, getting a pool of people that can sew, but they're also very aware of the needs of an SCA fighter. They worked with me to get the measurements, not just of myself, but of my hidden armor as well, so that it could flex and work with me on the field. The elbows were not the first thing to rip out in these tunics. They were really great, and they helped me look good on the field as I was progressing in my career there as well.
Yeah. No, you know, on that point too, I guess that's, you know, we all, it's running right back into kind of a little bit of fight talk here, but that goes, you know, the having armor that's not torn up and all of that, and having it wear better is a huge piece and not easy all the time. But, you know, I guess the other piece on that is, you know, it's one part of the way to becoming a knight, right? I mean, if you look like one, then, you know, it's more of an opportunity to become one. It also gets you in that space where you know, I think you get a chance to interact more. Like, obviously you were helping, you know, really test this, how it was all coming together a little bit, and got to put some of, you know, kind of your own time into making sure that it was a project itself kind of kept moving forward, right? So
yes. And since then I've gone back for the purpose, like when I won Crown, we had a family of 5 that we needed to go ahead and get our measurements out there. So I knew as a resource, you know, I didn't have to go out and search for you know, a measurement form for our reign for all of our family members. I just went to Adopt-A-Jock and looked at the documents and pulled down the kids' forms and adult forms, and we just used those and saved them and you know, shared them out to folks that wanted to make us clothes, and that was a real helpful for our reign as well. So all along the way, the group has been really great for me as well.
Awesome.
That's
Yeah,
really
no,
cool
you know, that
you
makes a
used
ton
that
of
as a
sense.
resource.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
So, and just for the heck of it, I'm going to show a couple of those resources right now here. I'm going to let me add this to the stage here. And I'm going to go back over here. I got to go to the right place. All right. So I guess, here are some of the forms, and they look relatively, I mean, it has the stuff you need on them. And, this is obviously a child's form. I love that you kind of made it into, a child's form and kind of fun a little bit. And, so I see this is actually for some youth fightings or garments for scenario. But, obviously simple things like parents' names so they can work with the parents, and, Facebook names so that use Messenger and stuff, or email. And then you had the divisions, and I see it's like under garment desired, a kingdom, personal specific war tunic in kingdom colors, and then persona. So you are actually going along, and I'm guessing all of those, some of these are the same things you have to ask on the adult form. So not only do you just get a tunic, but you get something really kind of towards what you want to do, right?
And it helps inspire the artists when you put all of that information together. You kind of get like a bigger picture of what they're wanting too. I mean, they could just say, I want a tunic, and then you're like, but what kind of tunic? There's so many tunics.
Yes, exactly. So I got a question. Just I didn't know you were doing stuff for kids. Do you get a lot of requests for kids?
We do. Actually, I think there's some pictures that I sent you of some of the kids that we have adopted.
Let me pop. I can actually pop those up real quick. Let's see here.
There's some youth fighters that have been adopted, and they love their stuff, and they wear their kingdom colors at wool. Yep. Yeah. There's some of them. That's awesome. And just, I mean, parents that don't have the ability to sew, that need stuff for their kids for like a special occasion or things like that. One of the things I tell people when they first talk to me about the group is, if we were good at everything, we wouldn't need each other. So it's really nice to be able to put that in perspective, and, like, I can do this, and some trade, skills. It's a win-win.
Nice. Yeah, I totally, I like to hear, you also ask what kingdom, so you kind of know what kingdom colors that they may like in one way or the other. And then favorite, here's a great one, favorite colors, dislike colors. I mean, sometimes you don't think of those things because, but this does bring another question up, but you just don't think of those things. You're like, hey, I got this material, but if you send them something they're not going to wear, then that's useless, right?
Right.
So you're trying to get people stuff that they want to wear. And I think that's the best part on this. And just to pop it over here, I noticed you have, a number down. Here's kind of the same, mostly the same questions. And of course you got all the requirements you need to kind of make garb, and all the measurements, which is really nice. I see my wife do a lot of this. She has a lot of notes on this for a lot of our reigns for people, or for other people's reigns. And then you have, obviously there's all kinds of everything, same thing here, kingdom, persona, hips. So it's for men, women, any gender type of scenarios. So, and you just ask for the measurements needed to kind of get through each one of them. So I think the best part, like Drust, like you said, this is a great way. You were probably able to use all these forms for what you were doing with the family.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and as an aspiring squire, you get all sorts of things out of this. You get some relationships with laurels and some artisans that you may not have met before, and you get a little free franchise. You got people that are excited to show what they've done for you, so that they're posting your pictures all over this group and Facebook, and so you get a little bit of free franchise along with your outfits as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun because, I mean, here's a comment. I probably didn't get all of it. But, Karen he's kind of brought up, he's like, he remembers one of the swords being so excited they finished their Adopt-A-Jock's tunic type of deal. And, it's that kind of thing. I mean, building a community, and we have a fight community. But I think a lot of people forget all the support communities around, the fighting communities. And this is just not, I noticed in one of your pictures, it's not just like everyone wants to think stick jock and adopt a jock, but it's really jock is like anyone doing anything, youth, boffer, heavy. I look like you had a fencing tabard on here, or fencing coat on here as well. So is there other things besides like all of those, or that you kind of connect people with? Or I know that, if I wasn't doing any of those, maybe shooting archery or something like that, and I said, hey, could I get a kingdom tunic or something? Can those people participate as well?
Absolutely. The group is for everybody. It is just to bringing people together, making new friends, using resources. You know, you don't have to be part of the Army. You know, where there's a need, hopefully there's somebody to fill that need, and vice versa. Like, I have the need to be creative. I don't need any more dresses, you know, so that fills my need, you know.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And I think, you know, I kind of, someone posted something again. She kind of did a little bit of like this when she was a chatelaine in her kingdom. But she also talked about they had tons of fabric. How do you get the fabric, and how do people they just work that out with the sewer, or how's that work?
Yeah, the agreements are strictly between the stitcher and the jock. You know, they talk. It can be a monetary exchange. It can be, I'll send you money for fabric, or some people have just so much fabric and they're just like, here, have it, because then it's out in the world and it got used. You know, so it's completely up to them. So
for me, I was a beginner sewer, and I didn't have a big amount of fabric yet. I do kind of now, but before I wasn't yet in the fabric hoarding zone. So I had my jock send fabric that he wanted. So wherever he got it from, I think this one was online. But yeah, for me, they provide the fabric at least.
Okay, so I guess you have a great story, obviously, there, because you were a beginning sewer. I remember way back when my wife was a beginning sewer as well. You know, how long you been sewing now?
I've been sewing for 4 years now. And yeah, there's two different hobbies there. It's the sewing and then the collecting of all of the things that you have to do. Yeah. And that's definitely Maisie's fault that I'm sewing.
Well, the SDA is many hobbies all under one name.
Gosh.
It's crazy, right? So have you really loved sewing since you've kind of taken it on?
Oh, it's been crazy. I don't stop now. I call it the sweatshop. I actually made my own little group to make sure I can post everything that I've made.
Yes, that's awesome, because my wife actually you done a lot for royalty over the last 30 years, and she used to have they used to call her group the sweatshop group, because she would like farm out everything to do, and so they got awards as the sweatshop group and all of that. So but it's fun, isn't it? It's you know, they build new relationships. You know, it really does. I mean, do you feel much more connected to community now? I mean,
well, you said like how cool it is to look out on the field and be like, "Ooh, I made that, I made that, I made that, I made that." That's really cool. Thomas Baker from Trimaris, he just got announced to become a knight. He was wearing my Adopt-A-Jock tunic when he got announced, and I was like, "Oh,
I made that!" Wow, that is super cool. See, I guess it's these kinds of stories that I just absolutely love. It's these, you know, places that experiences that you may not have had if you hadn't volunteered to do stuff like this, and it builds friendships, it builds joy in life, right? And sometimes it can be hard, but you know, that's just part of what we put ourselves into to get the joy out of it. And I think sometimes we forget it in those hard times, that we're the ones doing it to ourselves, right?
Right. I see that Song is on the chat. I would love for her to share her story of what happened with her with the Adopt-A-Jock.
Well, you know what we can do with Song, if she wants to give it a try, I can actually just send her the link to and pull her in real quick if she wants to talk, and then we can fit a few people on, and then I can drop them off as people want, if people do want to come on and share a story. Why don't you actually? That's a good question. Let me I'm gonna just copy my link, and I will see if I have her on Facebook here, because I think she goes by Song. See if she's I bought her, so I would think she's a friend. My I got so many things running. Everything's a little slower. I apologize. You know what? Maybe I don't have her in. Oh no, there she is. All right. I will just send her a real quick message and see if she wants to come on. And if she does, and she can share it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw it out here and see if she can come on.
That would be awesome. Also, I saw Isabeau from Eldemir. Yes. Something I wanted to let everybody know about Isabeau. She contacted me. She's a lovely lady, and she is going to be connecting in her kingdom those that aren't on Facebook. She's going to use a binder system, and she actually, if you pull up the pictures, she made like a poster she has taken to several events for people to see what it's about, which is really cool. And I love that I've met her through this. So she's going to take a binder. She's going to print out the ones that are online, and also people who aren't online, and kind of connect them together with that resource, which is a brilliant idea. I really love that she's doing that. So, and she is from Eldemir, so that's another kingdom that we have, you know.
Well, and it's actually, I just bring this up really quick. And that is, you're getting, you know, I'm guessing everybody's getting a chance to meet people from lots of kingdoms. How many kingdoms have been involved?
I think all of them are involved. Like at least one person.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Like I said, I know we have 8 countries represented. So now the numbers in the group aren't like super, super high, but it seems like a lot of the people who are in the group are pretty active, and there's a lot of great posts.
I'm not quite sure if what you qualify as super high, because I'm looking at it in your Facebook group. You have 766 people.
She wants it to at least be 1,000.
All right, there she is. Guess who we have?
Yay, Song!
Hey.
That's awesome. Well, I heard you have a story for folks.
What happened?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now we're good. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep.
I would like for you to share your Adopt-A-Jock story.
Absolutely. So, mine was Wendy Duffy or Gwenvin in Meridies. I've known them for a while. I didn't know Wendy as well as I knew Connell. And Connell and I had some, like, we'd known each other, but, like, we didn't really know each other other than, like, Facebook, and we fought a couple of times. And over COVID, I was just coming back to the SCA, and I threw my paper in to see who would adopt me, and Connell had tagged Wendy in it. And so had been corresponding and video chatting and taking measurements. And then I went down there to Alabama, which is about 5 hours away. And we had a day and we fought and everything. I went home, came back and stayed with them like a month later for Meridian Grand Tournament. And my tunic was done. And we were sitting around the table, and he's like, "You thinking about becoming a squire again?" And I'm like, "I'm thinking about it." He's like, "You interested in being my squire?" And I'm like, "Give me 1 full year. I'm going to go 1 full year without a peer. But when I'm ready, I'll let you know." And a year to the day, I came up to Connell. I'm like, "Hey, you asked me something exactly a year ago. Are you still interested in doing this?" So I always say that the Adopt-A-Jock kind of like had us become closer by coming and spending time with them.
That's awesome. So this is the story that Maisie was talking about earlier. And, you know, and this is that scenario where it's, you know, sometimes it takes connections to stay in the SCA. I mean, you know, and at the beginning, it's super hard. And when you're coming back, it's even harder sometimes, because even though everybody's happy to see you, there's something that you missed. You left because there's something missing. And so coming back, you have to find that thing that's missing. And, you know, here's a case where by accident, you're kind of put in and hopefully found that thing that's going to keep you here forever, right?
Yeah, and they're the best. I've had the best support system. Pippin wanted to say hi.
Oh, I love cats. I'm a total cat fan. So, so yeah. So, I guess when you were asking for the tunic, how did that process go for you?
They had adoptees, so I put my name out there, and like within like an hour, Connell tagged Wendy in it, and they reached out to me.
And then you just talked, and
Yeah,
because you have a different persona too, right?
I do. At the time, I was going with complete minimums. It was when Zoom Bang was still legal.
Oh yeah.
That's all I fought in. So I was going with the Yuan Dynasty because it had better like fighting garb rather than armor. And then as I've added armor, I went to Song Dynasty. But yeah, it was a complete Yuan Dynasty. She did so many pleatings in that tunic, and she put like so much care into that.
It's beautiful.
Brannos,
I think you have a picture of it. It's green.
I do.
Okay, let me pull that up. Hold on. I am gonna pop over here. I'm gonna pop through a couple of these because
there it is.
That's it. There we are.
Yep, that's me.
Oh, that is cool. Very nice.
I wear it on but it's really big now where I've lost like 60 pounds.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. But I love that.
Yeah, it looks nice. So is that the material, the pattern that's on that material? Is it a pattern, like a material you had, or is it a material you found online that's you sent them, or?
It's a green linen with Yuan Dynasty block printing.
Oh, okay. Who did the block printing for you?
Wendy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she spent so much time in it.
Well, if my wife ever stops sewing for me, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So, I guess the best part here is, again, it's been kind of fun because there's some of the people are commenting out here, and you've gotten a number of people that are very active. I think it is Isabeau here that is doing it up in Eldemir, and looks like Guillaume knows her, and I'm trying to remember. Oh my God.
Anne Wisniewski from
Anne. So she's from the Mid-Realm. You were trying to get her on the show.
Yeah, she wasn't able to make it, but boy, she is one of the stars of the group. She has really just made so many things for so many people, and Celestin has made some things. I mean, there's just people from all over. But I don't know if you want to show some pictures. It's a really great way, because you can buy garb at events, but it's a really great way if you don't have the know-how to get something with your personal arms on it, which you can't just buy off the rack.
In fact, before we go to the pictures, I'm going to jump in here and we talk about, like, I didn't know you even did this part. So above and beyond the tunics and things, you do banners?
That's a adoption form for banners. So if there's somebody who wants to make a banner, or someone who enjoys painting rather than sewing, somebody just got their arms passed or what have you, they can put up there, if they have no one that can make them a banner, it's a great way to make a new friend and have a new banner.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. This one's been interesting too, because I know a couple people that do like silk painting and stuff like that. I mean, once you have some heraldry and some ideas, this is another place you can kind of help get your stuff out there, help the society look better, help get your chance to meet people and be part of this community, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, Drust, you got a banner yet?
Yes, as a matter of fact, just this has gotten jogging my my creativity here. And when I run silk painting banner classes in the past, and part of that is like weeks prior to the class, so I can actually have a banner that they can walk away with. We do a lot of prep where I take their device and work with them to break it down to where it'll actually fit on a long banner. And get the border that they want, that type of thing. Get the stencils all ready to go so that they can do it in the class. and that might be something we could work on here. Is that another service that the Adopt-A-Jock could do is translating devices over to different formats like that, perhaps, and maybe that's something I could help out with in the future.
That'd be great.
That sounds awesome, actually. I mean, God, there's nothing like banners at. I had a Crown. We asked and this is many years ago again, asked everybody to bring a banner with them. So when we put the banners all around the list field and everybody participating in Crown that way. They do something like it out west, and I saw they had like one center space with all these banners, and they slowly pulled out the ones that are out, and it's a really cool thing. So we kind of did a little bit of like that a long time ago, and this is another one of these cases where more banners. When people have banners, it's like, and I don't do this enough. It really does dress up an event. In fact, I just did this for Coronation and. What was the event after Coronation? I just did it two events in a row. So I brought we have a bunch of banners my wife made for our Rose Tourney was the other one. For Rose tournaments, we have a bunch of silk, just plain silk banners with basic heraldry on them. And I bring the poles, the stands, and we had 8-10 of them out. I always bring them to our Rose tourneys. And boy, it's amazing how much it dresses up, not only the tournament field, but even court, we put them in the corners and down the aisle, and it's I really enjoy that look, and I see some kingdoms do it better than others. This is a great opportunity, and Drust, I would totally talk to Maisie and say, hey, how about I get some ideas and a document together, because you're already doing it, and put it on the site, because I think I'm going to jump over here because I've seen, and we'll go through this is the site itself, and again, you can see how many members here. There's a ton of members. And here's a bunch of the forms and so on. And, some of the nice, again, some great pictures of folks. And, good part is, and I apologize, Maisie, I was kind of browsing through this, and it looks like you guys actually have hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's some sewing tutorials, here's how to make some stuff easier. And it's a great place for sewers to get together and actually help each other.
We do have a folder too for easy, there's one of Anne's, for easy patterns that we've shared patterns in as well and things like that.
That's what I was looking for. Yes. I've seen you had, in fact, you just added a bunch of different patterns in there for different cultures and stuff.
Yeah. That's one of my Adopt-A-Jocks. He won most chivalrous fighter at the Rose tourney at Gulf Wars.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful banner, by the way.
Yeah, that was his prize.
That's awesome. And congratulations to him. Yeah, you can tell he's proud to wear that. So
that tunic, Lynn Kittman made 16 of those. She's also another star of the program. She made 16 of those for me to take to war and hand out as needed, which was great.
And that builds that group pride, right? I mean, Drust, that feeling when you're part of something, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got a great feeling as king at the time. This past Gulf War, walking into the Trimaris encampment on the first day and seeing a rack of all these outfits that had been made by Adopt-A-Jock folks. And just seeing that and knowing that those were all going to be filled and on the battlefield with Trimaris, and then throughout the war, just seeing our troops out there all in blue and with Triskells just looked great, and couldn't happen without this group. It was really wonderful.
So
I like how some of the jocks in the comments, some of the jocks are going, "Hey, you just passed my picture."
Yeah, the other one I just picked up is somebody's already just so people know, I may need some banners type of deal. Again, the big piece here is go to the site. So when you go on the site and you sign up, do you how do you get started?
So there's the hardest thing about it is there's no timeline. So you fill out your form, you put it into the Up for Adoption folder, and you just kind of let it simmer, and someone will come along and find a project that interests them, and they'll contact you. Right now, I don't think we have too many that are up for adoption. I think we're getting our queue down, so we might need some more people to fill out some measurement forms and put them up. And I mean, there's a ton of sewers on here too, so it's just random who's interested in what, but there is no timeline. So now I say that, but we have had I think it was a night from Calentier, maybe, jumped on there and I need a tunic for next week. Is there anybody that can make it? Which there's also people who are, that's their business. So they're on here as well, and they, work that out. So.
Yeah. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, as long as people, everybody, I guess that's the part is I'm sure that when you get somebody making stuff for you, at some point you're like, hey, I don't need, you're doing stuff for me. I want to pay you. And I want, it's okay. You do one or two things and we create a relationship. But after some point, you're like, I know it's, I want to at least give you something back for your time. And my wife used to just be like, okay, I don't want money. Here's a list of books. Pick one. Give me a book.
Yeah, that's great.
Here's what I drink. It's find one. And next time you see me, give it to me or whatever. And those types of again, you're just building relationship, and really a vendor relationship is no different. If you can build a good, hey, I'll make these, and because you're getting a good deal if you compare yourself to like trying to go out and just buy off the shelf and things like that. Again, all the merchants do wonder. Thank God we have merchants, right?
Right. But, remember when we didn't?
They're also, and they're also doing stuff for a little bit of everyone. Where you guys are developing relationships, like my coat of arms, I've tried your stuff on. I know I can trust you, right? And that's what you're building. So whatever relationship comes out of that, hey, the more power to it. We're just making people able to do what we do better.
Right.
So
one of the best things about the SCA is the network that you have, and I think this just is another aspect of it. So.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. I was just talking again about it last night, and I think sometimes we see a lot of people down on ourselves, the SCA in general. But I will tell you, looking back the 35 years I've been in, I wouldn't have as many people and as many relationships in as many age ranges as I have now. And where that fits in my life is I get to learn what not only the new lingo and all of that, and they all make fun of me, but that's okay. But I get to learn what's actually happening. So, change is hard. And as you get older, change is harder. But the easiest way to get through change sometimes is to have a friend that's going through that change, right? And you get to appreciate why, and that these are good people as well. And many times when you get older, your groups of people get down lower and lower, and you don't see it, so you don't understand why the change has to happen. So right. I totally appreciate it. It's opened my view of life tremendously, and it just keeps going on. So
it's a crazy, silly, awesome, amazing club. I have friends all over the world. I have lifelong friends. I do love it. So
I agree 100%. I'm gonna throw something out here because I just want to know which tunic you guys made. Here we go. All right, which one?
I made both those.
Of course. I love these. So, like, here's a pattern. What is that, like, screen printed?
It's a stencil. I made it. I made that one. That's just a basic war tunic.
Yeah.
And then the one next to it, Lady Adelaide made with the stamp on it, with the stamping.
Ooh, that is
He's
pretty.
The one that is becoming a knight pretty soon. That's the tunic he was wearing.
That is a really nice tunic. So
I called it Trimarian Barf.
So obviously you learned how to print. Did you kind of do that because you wanted to be able to help do more stuff like this?
To be honest, I like to make a lot of my stuff for my husband, and he sees
Mhm.
stuff on other people and goes, "I need that." Actually, the other day I asked him what clothing he needs like re-upped at the house, and he gave me a list of garb instead of regular clothes. So that's
I get it. I totally get it.
So
Yeah,
this
I
begs
mean,
the question: Is there is there do you have you quantified like how many knights have come from wearing Adopt-A-Jock tunics?
I mean,
all of them.
there's a few that are now knighted for sure. Cormac was one of mine. He's my adopted
Yeah,
jocks. But you know, it was
myself.
just happens
you
that
yourself, yeah.
he's
Yep.
now a knight. So
Drust,
Yep.
if you start
um,
learning how to ask questions like this, you might end up on the show at some of the other shows at some point. So yeah, I mean, obviously you guys are in Trimera, so we're seeing a lot of
well, these
Trimera
are all
stuff.
towards the end of the album. So if you go
Oh,
up
okay.
further, because that was all Gulf
All right.
Wars when we were doing our big push for Gulf Wars.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see.
let me jump into the album. There was some album ones here. Okay, here's like some
Somebody
big
adopted
pushes.
me.
Oh, you adopted you. Look at
Somebody
that.
adopted me. And also,
That's
a
awesome.
really great member of the group sent me a surprise. They made me a collar, and it has my device
Ooh.
and a pelican embroidered on it as a thank you. It was so sweet. It was Anne. So sweet. Like I didn't know anything about it, and it's gorgeous. I wear it all the time. I treasure it. I love it.
This is a nice tunic here. I mean,
Just how
you
happy
can
these
see.
people are. It's so cool.
I know,
I
they're all
know.
smiles.
It's so cool to see. Obviously, you got a couple of them. That's awesome. Look at that. Oh, that's some work on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are. So again, somebody earlier asked if they probably weren't on it originally, and they asked if you did fencing stuff. But obviously, you can see you do all kinds of stuff here. Hey, I know that guy.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, very very custom work there to give me a little franchise with my own device on my stuff. I think Maisie went out and searched for some trim that already had the little holes in it to match my device, and that was really cool.
Yeah, that looks great.
And in that, you'll see that the elbows actually have a little bit more room because we worked on making sure that my hidden armor like would fit in there and flex with it. And so you'll find that the folks that do the work at Adopt-A-Jock, have that expertise to help fighters, to do it not just to make garb, but garb that works, it doesn't tear up real fast and that type of thing.
Yeah. I do the same thing. I have a lot of my armor is under stuff, and you have to expand the elbows, you got to expand the legs, all that kind of stuff. So it makes a big difference, right? So
we do ask. I mean, it depends. Some are new stitchers, and they make things just fine, And but we do ask sometimes if that a common question is your measurements. There's the sleeve that matches his device.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
So we ask if these are measurements. Do you wear your tunic under your armor, over your armor? Can you measure with your armor on instead if it's an over? So it does fit. I think I just did that with Jason Wood. We measured over his. So
yeah, and that totally makes sense. But that way you know how much space you actually need in that stuff. Now, doing anything like that, I have no clue because I'm so clueless. So it's I just appreciate the things that people do. This is a nice outfit too.
That one was made by Countess Ethane for this young lady to wear.
Yeah, that's nice. And again, and this pretty work here, just the painting and stuff they have on this one. I mean, and there's somebody else that look at me.
He's very happy. He I believe is the gentleman that's in Alaska that was adopted by the wonderful lady in the mid-realm.
That's awesome.
And she made him Winnegas, and I mean his device and
Wow.
hood. Yeah.
And that helps that whole piece of people, and obviously, and everybody, if you go, all of these things are out on their site. You can take a look. There's little detail points. the best part I can see here is, and here's, probably Outlands, an Outlands device
Yep.
here.
And
Right?
I believe they were adopted
for
by
sure an Outlands device.
a Baroness that's in Meridies, I believe.
Oh, was it? Awesome. That is well done. Yeah, it's,
That's
a nice
Kern's
Roman
tunic.
one. That's Kern's. Oh, so Kern has tunics. You don't need to make him any more stuff.
I made him that tunic.
Yeah, I mean, I could just go through these because they're fun to see everybody being so happy. And again, for everybody out there, go to the site. It's the key here is, that you have a space where people are sharing. Here I was just working through these earlier. You're showing techniques of how to iron down the seams and things like that, right?
Anything that looks like it could be helpful, is up there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a super like in your face busy, but it is pretty active. This is the boards that Isabeau made from Eldemir that she's putting up at events for people to see what we're doing. So.
Yeah. And this is really nice because not everybody does Facebook, and really we're finding more and more are getting away from Facebook just because of other reasons. So yeah, it's nice to see all this fun kind of stuff going on. And yeah, I love the sewing machines have 2 speeds. I love that. But yeah, it's, you kind of go through some of this and you can see that you guys are sharing a little bit. And I'm sure if you have a question, you can just post it out on the board here. It gets answered.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm going to go check just because I'm being bad, and I'm going to remove this one real quick. I'm going to throw you under the bus. Drust, do you, obviously I know your account, you're a knight as well?
Yes.
Okay. I went out on the edge there.
Yeah, having these the tunics that Maisie's group Maisie helped me make definitely helped to dress me up, and who knows what the discussions were back when people were talking about me, but I know that that they definitely helped dress me up. I was in Caid for a while, but I felt like my garb in the summer heat in Florida just shredded. And so I was going through tunics like nothing when I moved back here. So having some pretty tunics that were beyond what I just whipped out myself, were with some nice paint and trim on them, like you saw in the pictures there, was just really great for my franchise in the kingdom, and I really appreciated that and helped me along my way.
So I just posted this, and I'm going to say it too. It's been fun just watching some of the comments, because to tell you the truth, they've all been. There's so much love out here for some of this, and I really hope, and this is the reason why I really wanted to do this too, is I really hope that you get a chance to do a lot more. Sorry, Lady Adelaide, but and I'm also thinking, if somebody has, like, let's say, my wife's like, hey, we're moving to a tiny house. I need to get rid of my 3 bedrooms of material.
We would not complain.
Okay. So we would just go out on the board and say, hey, I got material
Absolutely.
that I got from my mom, or I got from whoever, and who would like it. Okay.
Yep, I did that with some patterns on the group. I had old patterns that were I can't remember the name of the company, but they were SCA patterns that were made by Renaissance company.
Oh,
and
I remember those.
I came into a gang load of those, and I just put them up, and whoever wanted them, I just mailed them to.
So I guess that's a big point here, is like, if you think you can help and you have stuff that may help, it'd be a good place just to pop out there onto the page and say, hey, I have all of these things. And instead of kind of getting rid of them or throwing them out, which I hate, this is a good chance to actually recycle in a wonderful way.
Absolutely. Yep.
So No, I love that idea, and it's funny. I'm going to start doing that, just because I know my wife. We're at that point too. We're hitting that. It's like I got more material than I can ever use, and I have
Yes.
some material I will never use.
Right.
And we've been just starting to box those things, and this may be an idea to say, hey, who wants it, and then we just meet up, or if it has to get sent, it gets sent, or whatever, right?
That's
So
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah,
Something I wanted to share too.
Go ahead.
I have another group, but mostly I do it. I just want to share this for other kingdoms. I do it in my kingdom. I started it again about the same time as this. Kids don't wear garb enough or go to events enough to wear it out. So I have a thing called the youth garb swap. And at most events, I set up a table and we pile all the garb there. And there's a sign that says free, take what you want, donate what you want. So people leave stuff, take stuff, because the kids grow. So the table's constantly ever changing, and it's always got something for somebody. I took it to the last event I went to, and definitely, I think 4 different sets of parents went home with new garb for their kids. So
I love that, because I just started seeing that more in the mid realm now. It's been fun. It's like sometimes they have a rack set up, you just put garb on it, and sometimes they have a table and you just stack garb and people come in and look through stuff. I know I have 2 or 3 buckets that I constantly just like, hey, look through these things. Anything in there is yours. Plus we have a gold key that gets maintained, and I think the best part is that we're all trying to make people kind of make it easier for them to do what we do and
Absolutely.
see the benefits of what we do. So that is absolutely the best part. And this is actually one of the biggest reasons I wanted you on the show and to cover this, because again, maybe I'm blind, but this has been a big part of my life for 35 years, which is more years than I've had more years in this than out of this. So, it's, and yes, there are hard times, and yes, there are times that you think twice. And there are times that I look at myself and like, I'm mad, and I have to look at myself and it's like, this is for me. It's not for them. I do things because I want to do them. They're not demanding me to do stuff.
Right.
And that means I'm getting something out of it. And what we're all getting out of this is we feel better. Right. And Drust, that when you teach somebody stuff, we feel better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. And
when people
we do
feel more
make
confident on the field, it's a win-win.
100%. Exactly. And that's what I try to keep reminding people. We did 3 episodes on failure, and they were very good. I think they're very helpful for a lot of people. We showed that failure happens at every level, from royal peer down to brand new person. And the key in that thought process is that we put ourselves in those places for failure. And the idea being is, if I didn't even try to fight, then I wouldn't have to worry about any fighting failure. If I didn't try to make friends, I wouldn't have to worry about maybe I didn't make some friends, or maybe I got people mad, But in life, the idea is to push ourselves and to try to find our ways into those and learn from those things. Hey, maybe I got somebody mad. I could do it better next time. I don't have to. I say it in a different way where they don't get as mad, or maybe I go apologize. There's nothing wrong with you're getting something out of this. There's nothing wrong with going back and saying, I am sorry that it presented to you that in the wrong way. And that's not what I meant, and this is kind of the same thing that's happening here. You're giving opportunities to people. And I'm sure there are times, Adelaide, you can say this. You're like, I got so much stuff to do.
Oh my gosh. Usually before events or Gulf Wars is when it's like at its peak of I might die because my hair is going to fall out of my head and there's too many people wanting me to do too many things. Yeah. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, and your shoulders hurt because you've been sewing on a sewing machine like this all day.
Yeah, that's true.
I know my wife is like, put your arms on my shoulders and press them down.
Yes.
But yeah, I just, I appreciate everybody coming on the show. I appreciate everybody that it supported this show too. I mean, I'm reading some of the comments out here, and there's I just, let's see here. I like, just a little bit of comment. The new food looks good, and it's a confidence booster, and it is. It's 100% a confidence booster. Also, it brings stress down when you're like, hey, I don't have to worry about how I look because I already know I look well. And not only do I look good,
yep.
right, is that I know more people now. I'm not kind of by myself trying to do something. And maybe that person's not at the event, but you still know them. You're talking to an SCA person on Facebook. You built a relationship. And you can go back and tell them how you did, how it looked. You could send a picture, all of those things, right?
Yeah. I love the happy pictures.
Yep. Like I said, I love all of this, and I can't say enough about it. Everyone, again, I will put out tomorrow. I'm going to put out something on this on Coach's Corner. I'm going to put it out on my page as well. Just to remind people that this group exists. I'm going to tag a link to this along with the link to your page so that people can get understanding of what you do, because I didn't even know everything you did. Drust, I am waiting to see your silk stuff. It's nice that you're reaching out to be a Laurel. I will never be a Laurel. And I'm terrible at even being a pelican, so it's okay.
Well, I hope that we get a lot of more volunteers on both ends. I think, like I said, the community, what we do, it takes all of us, and it's really, really great to see. And I just hope it grows and grows, because
I can't agree more. Yeah,
more friends is always a good thing. So
it is,
and more creative art is always a good thing. So.
Mm-hmm. And on that point, Adelaide, I mean, for you, making stuff is, and I remember this from years ago. Now I'm just a big stick jock, but from years ago, making stuff, I mean, everything I finished, it just had a good feeling on.
No.
No, you don't. Well, not the negative eye on it, but when you're finished with something and can get it to somebody.
When they have it on later, like way later.
Yeah.
Maybe like weeks later, when I don't have to have been staring at it for too long. Then I'm like, oh wait, I made that and it looks good now.
Exactly.
But not immediately. I know,
because you get that critical eye on everything.
Yeah.
Artists are such their own critic, it's just the way of the thing. It's just how it works.
Because we're always trying to learn. And it's funny because Guillaume, I see Guillaume out here talking a lot. And Yo is a Laurel from Eldemir as well, and his wife. And we talk, she watches the show all the time. She's like, can I do this like an arts and science show like this? Because really, we're all just constantly trying to one up what we did last time. And we're learning from failures, and we're getting better. And next thing you know, Adelaide's screen printing, printing block printing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Right. And, it's that kind of thing. We're all just constantly pushing ourselves to be a better, a better self. Right.
Yeah. So. Well, even I've been in the SCA for 38, I don't know, 7, 8, I don't know, a lot of years. And I still, I just made a tunic for Jason, and I was worried that it wasn't going to fit right. And did I measure it right? And I don't really measure, so I kind of just go with it. But
thanks, Jason.
And I wanted to make sure that the design of his device was below his chainmail, so it didn't rub against and rub it off and all these things. So I was very worried about it. But in the end, even after all these years, it worked out just fine. So, but I still worry, So that just goes with the territory of being an artist, and
that's part of it. So
yep.
Do you ever just
All right.
tape your stick and go, oh, I don't like the tape on that stick. I got to take that all off.
Well, yeah. Believe me, I have no squires anymore, so it's I do that every time I tape a stick now.
It's funny. Well, I very much
So,
appreciate the opportunity here to be able to share
not a problem.
exactly how the group works, because I think it's important for people to understand and share the group. And like anybody can just be on the group just to be there and see it and get sewing tips or hang out or whatever, say hi. The group's for everybody. And I hope that, we get a lot more traction and it keeps gaining speed.
Yeah. Well, I think you got a lot of traction now. And before we wrap up, Adelaide, do you have anything to kind of say about, about your experience?
I just wanted to say thank you to Maisie for adding us to the group. To be honest, I wouldn't have started sewing or done a lot of the stuff that I've done without her teaching. I mean, she saved me a lot of money on fabric. You should see her tunic method. I was doing the rectangular cut thing before,
Oh, yeah.
all period accurate. I don't do that anymore. I am reformed. But yeah, I want to thank Maisie. I learned all my sewing from this.
That's awesome. Drust.
Yeah, well, I would just say to anybody that's listening to this right now or in the future, to just go ahead and fill out your measurement form and get it out there. And you never know if someone is inspired by that. They may make you something that is just beyond what you ever expected, and it won't happen unless you just fill out that form. And it's a free thing. You just put yourself out there, and you'll meet some new friends, and maybe yeah, learn some stuff and get a really cool tunic, perhaps.
Well, and I will. I got an email or a message. Let me pop back as I opened the from Stephen Kelly.
I just sent you a link to my banner class link there.
That's yours. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it out there just so people, if you don't mind, that's so people can see
Yeah.
it on Coach's Corner, which actually dropped for me. So I'll have to jump back in. Oh no, it's right here. Okay. I'm going to post
tested instructions where you can make your own soap banner in less than 4 hours if you really haul butt.
All right. Let me make that small and then post it in here. Here's a nice document for folks out there interested. But yeah, I think this has been a great show, and I can't thank you all enough for supporting this and doing what you do for everybody. I hope this show is as much as, hey, here's a cool thing, as it is, here's a way to grow more. Here's a way to meet more people. Here's a way to be, build more community. Here's just a way to have a happier life in many ways, right? So I'm hoping the show is all of those things, and that's the reason why I wanted to do it. And Maisie, you're absolutely wonderful, and just like you've been, everybody here, there's lots of comments about you. You do incredible stuff, and all of those comments are real, and that's it's hard to take sometimes, but appreciate it, because people do appreciate you. So
I appreciate them.
For everyone else, good. So for everyone else, thank you very much for coming on the show. And it's been a pleasure. I love talking positive stuff, and this has been all positive. And I really look forward to seeing the group grow. I know my wife was in here earlier pre-show, and she's like, I can't wait till I'm done with Royal Garb so I can try to get out here and do some more stuff. So it's a way to be, kind of have a fun thing with the hobby we do, and create a little bit of fun in life. So thanks, everybody. Not sure what we have next week. We have a couple of episodes that are possibly going to be I'm trying to put together for folks. I'm going to probably take at least a week off because I've had show after show after show, and my wife's looking at me sideways. So, but we have lots of other coaches, and we will see what we can do. Mainly, I believe our next show, I do have a show coming up on creating rhythm in fighting and what that means. I think we talk a lot about rhythm, but rhythm covers everything from not only movement, but your breath, your relaxation, and your throwing and building the fight itself. So that's a episode we're putting together that I'm really looking forward to. And then we have a couple others before we start jumping into the Penzic stuff. And for those who are interested, we just signed up, and we will be doing Penzic, kind of a Penzic symposium the first week again, and have a bunch of classes. And we're just starting to fill those classes up. So if people are out there and they're looking and like to teach a class, just let me know, ping me, and we can talk about it. Juice, going to Penzic?
We'll see.
All right. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for coming on and spending the time with us. And for everyone else out there, thank you for spending your time with us. And thank you for your wonderful comments. And be safe this weekend. Have a great time. Hopefully you get to go to an SCA event and see friends. Bye. Everybody here, you can stay on the show. We'll do a little bit of post-show after this. So, I forgot to tell you earlier. But for everyone else that's not on the show, we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye, Mom.